Welcome back to the Skids and Giggles podcast. This is Bryson, along with Pascal. And today we're talking about our recent trip to SES, that's Swiss Enduro Series, Leukerbad. So since it's a special trip, we have a special recording format for you guys tonight. In the first part, you'll hear our pre-race amble, where we got together a couple days before the race just to talk about what we're thinking about of doing, how we're going to prepare ourselves, and then we're going to follow it up with a couple sound bites of our practice day as well as the race day. So a little bit of in-the-moment recording there. Excuse us for the audio quality. Followed up at the end with a conclusion discussion where we just talk about, what we found and how we did and how we all made fun of each other. Hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome back, Skigglers, to another episode of the Skids and Giggles podcast. I'm Pascal, and I'm joined by my co-host, Bryson. How is it going tonight, buddy?
It's going great, Pascal. How are you doing?
Oh, splendid. We are also joined by a former guest, fellow hardtail passionate person, Jan Favre. How is it going tonight?
Hi, bit tired from work, but happy to be back.
Well, there's something special we wanted to talk about today. We have signed up all together for the Swiss Enduro Series in Leukerbad. So we're doing a quick pre-race recording because it's been a long time since both of you guys have been racing. I've had a lot of talk about my own racing, so no one wants to hear about that anymore. So that's why we thought we spent a couple of minutes going through your anticipation ahead of the big weekend. Right on. Well, let's talk about the race. I think I want to do three things tonight. First, I want to hear a little bit about your kind of expectations. Both of you, well, I know for Bryson, it's been 2016 BC Enduro, the last race he ever did. So that's a cool 7 years ago now. I remember meeting you at the Enduro 2 a couple of years back. I believe that was also your last race. So what are your expectations for this weekend? What do you want to remember after this weekend?
I want to remember some good times, like just going out riding with buddies. That's the whole idea behind Enduro. I do feel the pressure of competition to perform while I'm on course, but I'm not going to go with the mindset that I'm coming out here to perform. I'm going to go with the mindset that I'm out there to survive the days and keep the vibes high. And I think that will propel me into some good times, like race times, as well as enjoying my time. So I want to remember that occurred.
Jan, what do you want to remember from this weekend?
Yeah, now that it's that close to the race, I wonder why I even signed up, but that's normal. Always happens. I actually want to try and see it mainly as a weekend up in the mountains with friends, riding bikes, having a good time. I'm not at all in a racing mood at the moment, but I pretty much in a mood of riding bikes and challenge myself a bit. Like what I really want to try is to ride well, like because I am currently in a mood where I do ride quite a lot, but I don't really put much thought in it. I just ride without thinking at all. So that's my expectation, to have a reason to ride mindful. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. I mean, I guess those are very, very good goals, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the weekend with the two of you. We also have to say we have signed up for the hardtail category, of course. So all three of us will be riding the hardtails this entire weekend. So give us a holler if you see us out on course. The race course was released already 2 days ago. So we are recording on this Tuesday ahead of the race. The race course was released on Sunday. Have you both had a look at it?
Yeah. short one because I've never been there, so it doesn't really say too much. And I've seen stage 2, which makes me a bit nervous. Um, such as all the switchbacks.
Well, it's the switchbacks and it's the length and the decline. It's
Yeah,
the first two stages are pretty hefty, both around or even more than 5 kilometers. So that's going to be and some serious descending. So that's going to be interesting. Bryson,
yeah.
is there anything that has you concerned?
I did the Torrent Trail last year with a couple colleagues. I liked it a lot. We kind of like took it easy, also got a little bit lost along the way. I'm not worried about that trail. And if it's any indication about the rest of the terrain, which probably it's not. Actually, no, I'm not over. No, I mean, like we've done some pretty heavy missions in Davos, and like if I was taking my hardtail there, then I'd be a little bit worried at the pace that we were taking it. But also, we've done those trails a couple times, so we kind of go a little bit more gung ho than riding blind. Um, yeah, I'm gonna ride smart. I'm gonna ride for fun. Try to do a little bit of back wheel love, and yeah, just grab a lot of breaks. So
Throw anchor.
yeah.
All right. Any worries for you, Jan?
Yeah, mainly if I can actually hold everything together. Like I have two worries. One is that I go in it like too relaxed, which can happen sometimes. I just get like, yeah, just not at all in a zone where I'm riding decently well, and that's also very dangerous because I'm still somehow trying to be fast, but you're just not in the zone. And my biggest fear is actually that I gonna overcook it and just um, either be burned out after 2 stages or just overshoot some sections that you shouldn't go in so fast and just hit a tree or whatever. So um, I'm a bit worried of not finding that balance after such a long time, not properly racing. I mean, the last race where you said we met was 3 years ago, and there was the Enduro 2, which was not really a race for me. So my last race was 9 years ago. So I've still got that mindset of, oh yeah, racing, but I have no idea how adult me is going to handle racing.
I think both are going to be fine. You're worrying too much about this. I mean, the beauty is that we have an entire practice day to figure out, what is in store for the actual race on Sunday. So it's not that we have to rise blind. So that gives you a little bit of time to figure out, pacing and where can you push and where should you hold back and how long are the stages, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, so it's good to kind of already have in the back of your mind kind of the things that you're worried about, and then kind of clear those out of the way on Saturday, and so on Sunday your mind is free and ready to let go. I guess what I'm really keen to hear is, are you going to do any special setup changes for the weekend? Are you going to put on your lucky tires and to go faster grips, or are you going to just run what you brung?
Yeah, what I did is I actually put on a bigger and a bit wider rear tire. Like I used to, because I'm still on single speed, I used to ride the Maxxis Aggressor 2.3, which is really good to.
I guess you don't like braking traction.
Nah, the rear wheel is gonna skip anyway. But what I wanted is a bit more squishy feel. So I put on a Magic Mary 2.6 now.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yes, but I did actually ride it for 2 weeks already, so it's a bit worn. Now it rolls a bit faster.
Mm.
I didn't want.
Any inserts?
Nah, just some air.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm light. I'm like a weasel.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. Probably a bit more how do you call it, a bit smoother, a bit more nuanced in your line choice.
I try to.
Anything else? I mean, as you said, you ride a single speed hardtail. Did you change any gearing or anything? I mean, there's mostly it's going to be lift assisted, but I guess there's going to be some pedaling. Did you change any of that, or the
No,
rest is just as you normally ride it?
no, I did a bolt check on Monday, like yesterday, um, and I did clean it a little bit, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of my bike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why would you even clean it? If it works, don't touch it. And then that's just bad juju. You don't touch it when it works.
Gonna wipe the magic off.
Exactly. Fairy dust.
Yeah, yeah. It was basically the main reason was so I don't have to wash the car afterwards. So,
That's legit too. It counts. We can
Yeah.
accept that. Okay, Bryson, let's hear it. What are you going to bring on Sunday, or on Saturday for practice? I know the tires that you're going to run, and I know the snacks that you're definitely not going to bring because you already ate them all. The Twizzlers are gone, but I know the tires, so tell me about the rest.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bonk fest. You know the tires, but I gotta let everyone else know. They're gonna be some DH spec crypto tiles from the bros at Continental. No shout out because I'm not sponsored. So I'm gonna bring my self made hardtail. It's gonna be the first time I'm gonna race it. Um, it was actually intended to be like a downhill race kind of hardtail. Like I designed the geometry with hopes that what I had done would give me some kind of like advantage in terms of like downhill performance. So it's going to get a transformation because it's right now set up as a rigid single speed. So it's going to get some big bars, some squishy grips. Going to put the nicer clip pedals on. Going to put those DH tires, cush core both ends. Because
What a man! What a
I
man!
think I'm going to need a tractor. The gearing's going to be 28-20, I think. Yeah.
Still single speed.
I'm not going to go. Yeah, I'm not going to. That's the gearing I ran with you, Jan, when we did our little Basel tour. I think it's good enough. I spin out if we're on flat, but obviously we're in the mountains, so not in the flat. And I don't want to go too high because sometimes you just can't pedal, and basically I haven't been riding this bike so very frequently lately, and so it's going to feel foreign on day one. Probably day two is going to feel a little bit like good old times. The one thing on my mind right now is the brake levers. So I'm riding the Magura setup that I have on every bike, except this bike has the very first setup I've had of Maguras, and they have the old levers. So like kind of flat, sort of like, I don't know, SRAM levers. So they don't have like the hook on the end. So it kind of feels like I'm pulling on a kid's brake, but I'll get used to it. But it's the only thing I think that I'll like kind of feel, you know what I mean?
If you brake less, you're faster for longer. That's my
That's true, actually.
Yeah, that's
my
what you
thinking.
tried on our tour.
I'm gonna go bigger rotors. I'm gonna go Fox 36 on the front, and
You know, you only got 3 more days. Yeah.
Exactly. Have you actually started?
no, I'm gonna do it right after this podcast. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be magic.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be super proud of it, and then I'm gonna snap my chain.
Have you changed the brake pads already?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I should probably like bleed them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna run organic on the left and metallic on the right, or how's it? What's the brake pad setup this time? Are you gonna change it around halfway through the race?
The fronts are going to be trick stuff metallics, like power pad. Love these pads. The rears will probably go organic.
Don't panic.
For the very sane reason of that's what I have in the drawer.
There you go. That's what counts. That's what counts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we do have a clear view of what's going to happen, what we expect from the weekend, and what we're going to bring. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up for the pre-race check-in?
You gonna make any setup changes to your bike from Transmedira?
I did put in some new brake pads, and I did a spoke count modification on Sunday. So I'm going to run 31 spokes on the rear because I dinged one. But yeah, no, apart from that, I'm not going to change anything.
Magic number, 31. Yeah.
I did think about washing it, but then I was like, no, it works, so don't touch it. And
keep that good Madeira dust on there.
Yeah. No, there is no Madeira dust on it anymore. So just on the shoes. Just on the shoes and some of my clothes. But I tried to bring a different set. All right. With that, let's wrap it up. And we talk after the race to see how our predictions turned out.
What is your plan?
Anyway, we're partway through practice day on the gondola, last uplift.
Beautiful echo in here.
Beautiful echo. The audio sucks balls, but we're going to try anyway. Bryson, how are you feeling after 4 stages so far?
Spent. I walked up the last transfer.
Oh, sweet. But how did it? How did you think of the stages?
You can tell that a lot of people started the day before us, but overall, I like the terrain. I like the area.
Views are amazing.
Yeah, really nice. I did come over this pass before from the other side, and it's spectacular. So I like it out here. Looking forward to come back.
Sweet. Jan, your thoughts after 4 out of 5 stages so far?
Gonna be tough tomorrow, especially stage 1. Basically starts with a full-on cross-country stage and then dives into an enduro stage. Gonna be interesting how the other 5 stages is gonna work out after that one.
Yeah, she's a heavy one.
Yeah.
She's a heavy one. But so far so good on everything. Single speeding. I heard you walked the last climb. What are you thinking of doing 3 climbs tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean 3 walks sounds good, right? 3 walks a day keeps the EDR away.
Exactly. So your goal is to stay out of the EDR.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
who wants
dead
to do
set on achieving this.
who wants to do midweek races anyway? Anyway, we'll check back in later. All right, morning of the race. We've had a tough night of sleep. I was sharing a room with the Snormeister. He's the end game of the Snore Kingdom. Bryson Castillo, how are you feeling this morning? Looking forward to the race day.
Fully awake, sore,
Fully snored out.
snored out. I got a little bit of reserve. That's why I'm the Meister.
All right, very good. You look out the window. What can you see?
Blue skies. I don't think we're going to get clouds today. I'm going to be suffering in the heat like yesterday, but I'm prepared for that mentally, not physically. I see a beautiful ribbon of water. That is not a rainbow. That is a waterfall. Gorgeous here in Leukerbad. It's going to be a big day.
All right, good stuff. We'll hope to take some photos today and put those up on the gram, so you can have a look, and we'll check that in later. All right, morning check-in with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Single Speed himself. Jan Favre, how's it going this morning?
I could eat breakfast, so I'm not too nervous. Looking forward. I think as soon as stage 1 is done and survived, the rest's gonna be good.
Gonna be flowy.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're looking forward to the day, and we'll check in later. Bryson, how was siesta on stage 1?
You mean fiesta? I didn't sleep.
I heard you had a little lie down.
Oh yeah, I did actually. I came up really slow and then I tipped over. I don't know.
Oh well, it happens. How was stage 1 for the flying single speeder?
Brutal. At one point, I think my vision got a little bit blurry, and I straight lined right outside of a corner, like a little crash. But it went better than I expected.
Very good. So we keep pushing on. We're currently in the gondola to stage number 2, which is going to be a banger of a bike park trail. So we'll catch you in later.
I'm too fucking fast for this shit.
All right. Bryson, how was the last 30-minute climb in the blazing sun in what felt like 3 billion degrees?
Yo! It's hot out here, eh?
Yeah. It's summer.
Officially, finally. Enduro season.
Oh, yeah. What are you saying to the lunch menu?
Come and get me.
All right, good. We're checking in with Jan, single speed man. How was the climb?
Not so bad. I expected worse. But I'm at the time I have to remind myself that I'm at a race. I'm going in full relaxation mode at the moment.
There's also a nice balmy 475 degrees. How does that feel under your long sleeve jersey?
Like taking a bath, which is a good thing when it's hot.
All right, let's check back in after stage 4. All right, the status update. Main part of climbing is done. The wheels are starting to come off a little bit. Not literally, just metaphorically. Let's start with you, Jan. How are things going, apart from sweating your nuts off?
I lost a rear brake. But,
Did you find it again?
yeah. Let's see whether we can manage to get her back to life. Going pretty good. Like, I keep forgetting that I'm at a race. Just chill mode, but I think that's a good thing somehow.
Chill is fast.
Yeah, enjoying the day.
Very good, Bryson. We have entered pre-cramp land before the lunch break. I think we're firmly in cramp land now. How are the feelings, the sensations in the legs?
You know, it's been a while since I've been back to Cramponia. It's good to be back. You know, it really shows you who you are. And I'm proud to be me.
Ah, lovely. So now what's the strategy for before stage 5? So we have a long gondola ride now. Which is that you take the opportunity to record some update. So what are we doing now before we go to stage 5 and attack the rest of the day? How are we tackling the problem?
Ooh. I put in a petition for a little pit stop. Just need to relax the legs, relax the muscles.
I believe there's a food stop coming up somewhere.
Oh, more
I could be wrong.
more mixed nuts.
More bananas.
Great. That fits to my diet.
All right. Well, I guess with that we leave it and then give you the final update before we head home.
I have my own apple, so I'm all good.
There you go.
I have a burning question. There's one thing I need to know, Jan. What does it feel like to win?
Oh, you know,
You get used to it.
not
No. The real burning question is, what's it like to beat Pascal?
Easy.
I'll never know.
A second to last.
Okay, so after Pascal dropped me off, I came into my little room here with the studio, little online studio place, and I thought to myself, you know what I really need to get across on the podcast is, at some point in time, I can't exactly say when or where or when, but someone was like, who's faster, you or Pascal? And then I thought to myself, now we have the answer. Same category, almost equal, bike selection, same tracks, same day. Pascal's faster.
Yeah, but I was still second to last, so what does it matter?
I was fifth to last, so
Anyway, with that, we're back for a after post-race debrief after Swiss Enduro Series in Leukerbad. How is everyone going?
I'm still sore and I'm still overheating.
And you, Jan?
yeah, I can't agree more. Still a bit tired, still feeling a few muscles. But yeah, slept well the last 2 nights.
All right. Well, we've recorded some pre-race thoughts, and I wanted to check back in on our predictions from exactly a week ago. So last week I asked you guys, what do you want to remember from this weekend? And I guess the simple question now is, what do you remember from this weekend? What does stay in your mind, apart from the gold medal and the winning ceremonies and the fanfare of the grandness of your achievement?
I think that's exactly what did resonate the least in the end. Um, what I hope to achieve was to ride well, because that gives you that flow feeling when you're in the zone and you're um, reading the corners right, and it's just that reward you only get when you're riding well. I could achieve that, so that adds to the experience of my first solo enduro race. So um, regardless of how fast or not I was, and what I learned on that weekend is that I really like that enduro format. Really like that mixture of competitiveness and being out with friends and being out a whole day, and feel like a little less pressure than, let's say, in a downhill event. So I really enjoyed it, and I want to do it again. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Bryson, what are your thoughts?
Before I get to that, I just want to pick up on what Jan was talking about because that's actually really it really resonates with me. So it was my first race as well. I mean, like really proper one with like a decent organization and different classes and all this stuff. So I took it like I took it seriously, even though I didn't like I don't have like this racer mindset or like really any speed or blah blah blah. Like just kind of went in like, okay, I'm going to do my best and whatever that is, whatever I know from riding, I'm just going to apply it. And I rode quite conservatively. I never pushed myself. Like I came to the limit and then I would like back off a bit. Then I'd come back off a bit, like a little bit too frequently because the terrain was serious. The event was serious, and it was just really easy to like get right up to the limit. But luckily, yeah, I had enough wit to bring it back. But Jan is right. Like having this format, having buddies around you, um, it's just like going on a ride or sessioning a jump or something where like you're pushing each other, but you're also encouraging each other, and it's like completely positive environment. And you don't feel like I don't know, like you're failing or you're letting someone down or you're letting yourself down. There's like this encouragement feeling. So that was really cool. I um, am no longer a victim to the stigma of racing. So I wouldn't mind doing another enduro actually, if it entails, along the same lines of what we did together, the three of us. So I'm not saying that the three of us have to go on another one, but if I go on another one, I hope to have maybe someone I know or at least someone I make friends with while I'm there. And, we can have this kind of camaraderie or this kind of like helping each other push a little bit further and a little bit deeper.
Mission accomplished, or is that what you set out to get out of the weekend, or was there anything else? I think that pretty much hits all of your remarks from last week.
Yeah, the one of the big things in my mind was when we had Remy and Gianluca on the pod. It really inspired me, and I was quite motivated to get out to a race. And so last year I tried to get to Lux, but that didn't work out. I got sick, so I couldn't make it out to that one. We were going to do the hardtail thing then. I think it's really cool what they're doing. I really want to support them. So that was like a big motivation for me. Obviously, they don't. Well, not obviously, but when you arrive there and you see what's going on, you get the feeling like they don't need it. Of course, it's really good to help each other, but I think the SES is doing really well at this point. They've got a lot of ridership. I think they have a really good presence in the whole like enduro scene in general, as well as like the race scene in Switzerland. That's my point of view as a non-racer. So yeah, so the mission to support them and their cause is accomplished. As for personal goals, definitely accomplished. I wanted to get out there, have a good day, have a good weekend, ride with the buddies, just like I said. So yeah, I think so. But what about you, Pascal?
Oh yeah, I had a great time. It was as you say, it was cool to see everyone. The three of us, we had a a really fun time. We had our ups and downs. Mostly you had downs, and we had our ups, making jokes about your struggles. Um, it was really cool to see the community come together. What I really love is this focus, and that's what we talked about with Gianluca and Remy at the time, is that this focus on development, and you really see this coming through now, right? So there's the U15 category, there's the U17 category, there's the U21, and those guys are ripping, right? And it was cool to see, the Bike Club Mattertal with Nicole, with the kids, and they organize like the whole, travel, and a group that rides together the whole day, and they manage and coach each other throughout the race. Is really, really cool to see. And yeah, so I had a great time. It was good to see everyone. It was obviously beautiful. The riding was cool. I mean, it's been a long time since I've ridden in Leukerbad. It was good to see something new. I mean, the tracks generally were interesting. There's some stages that were cooler than others. So yeah, overall it was a really cool weekend, and yeah, looking forward to doing it again.
You guys were laughing at me?
No, we would never do that.
I thought you were
Just
laughing
when you
with
couldn't see
me.
it.
Yeah, of course. The one thing that I discovered this weekend also was, except from how funny it is to see Bryson take a nap on the stage and while you're racing, like
There's a transfer. That's what they're for,
I
right?
know it was literally
Take a
it was
break.
literally on stage one. Or was it stage three? I think you took.
He took a nap, a stretch pre-cramp nap.
But that's exactly what I think is what makes those races so nice. You have everything. You have all levels of seriousness. I think,
Or lack thereof.
or, yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think this makes this special spirit, where you can decide for yourself how hard you want to go, and it's pretty cool. I think Bryson and we were on the opposite side of the scale. I rediscovered my love for racing, so I even got a bit stressed, but I enjoyed it. Even I don't know. Even in the end, when you could feel my stress, I was actually enjoying it. A little bit of pressure.
Oh, you mean when you left us behind and said, like, guys, I need to get to the next stage.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
was
to miss
getting-
out on anything. See you later at the finish.
Yeah, I was.
See you in the douches.
I was getting pretty nervous, and also I felt that I had my concentration span was limited, so I felt how I became tired, and yeah, that was something that I rediscovered, that I do like to push myself, but to push yourself, you need a certain level of focus. So that would be one of the challenges in future enduro races, to keep that balance, where you're It's not about winning. It's just about pushing yourself to be able to do that and still be relaxed and hang out with friends. I think that's difficult, but it's definitely something I want to learn how to achieve. That bring that mix together. It's pretty cool.
One of the things that I really recognized while we were on course with Jan, he would make like we would just talk about the previous stage that we just done, and he would make remarks about, I was concentrating on that one, or like that one I wasn't particularly too like, I don't know, focused on. I was just feeling the flow. And then another one, he was like, yeah, I was really laser sharp focus on that per se. And for me, I kind of treat them all the same. And I didn't really recognize if I had like this particular focus or not focus or flow state or whatever. It was just like the whole time concentrate on the basics, like look forward, find your breaking point. Am I going to break hard here? Am I going to put the foot out here? That looks soft, brace for impact, like lift the front wheel, these kinds of things. It was always just like always maybe I have like just a very basic focus, but it was just always felt the same for me. And the impression I got from Jan was that, and sometimes he was like, yeah, I was just feeling it and I was going with it. And then other courses or other stages, he was like, I was super focused on that one and I was like really gunning. And so I never understood that there was that kind of thing before. Because for me, I think all my writing is the same. I just kind of treat it all the same.
I mean, I guess that's the element of of practice, and then of course in practice you look at the stage, you have kind of your different takes on different sections and stuff like that, and then after the day of practice, right? So it's obviously a big day, and then you think back to the day, and then there's a couple of things that stand out that you remember actually, and then when you get to the race or the next day, and then you get to that stage, and then there's those things that actually you can remember, and then you're very focused on those, and obviously forget about the 100 other things that can happen during the stage. But so I guess it's also that kind of element of like, how much can you ride with intuition, what can you remember, how much can you remember, how much is what you remember actually affecting the outcome of the stage, right? Is it a minor detail on a 10-minute stage, which is literally going to make like half a second of a difference? Is that really that important? And should you be focused or stressed about it at all? Or can you just ride after intuition and let the trail come to you? So I think that's kind of the balance that you need to find. And I guess that's what comes with experience, not only in racing, but generally as a rider.
Yeah, and I think I mean, I did my fair share of racing as a junior. It's been quite a long time ago, but you kind of learn what is worth focusing on. And you do also learn that focus is very important. But the problem is that you can focus on the wrong things or not focus at all. Like there's basically two ways to do it wrong. And this was my main battle on that weekend. Like stage one, funnily, the stage one and stage six, the two paddly stages, were the easiest for me to focus. These were the two stages I rode best, even after the paddling, just because it gets you into that survival mode where you don't even have time to focus on the wrong things and you just go for it. I was hitting all the turns well, and I just rode it like pretty much at my best. And it was actually on the easier stages where I was struggling the most to have the same kind of bite to really attack the trail. And I I talked about to you after the stages very often, when like after stage 2 or stage 3, when I reminded myself during the stage, so come on, you're racing, at least try. Because I was singing songs in my head or thinking about one day, or just, and then you're actually, even if the stages are slow, you're not going easy, you're not going fast. in the easy stages you can lose so much focus that you're actually losing more time than on the hard stages.
I ended up not using all the travel in my fork. I guess I'm not so great at bike setup, but actually I was thinking about that as well. Did a little bit of like back thinking or reflecting, I guess I'll call it. Um, and I'm a little bit proud because it means, or could mean, that even if I had like a poorly set up bike, or maybe like my rotors were too small, I could still like do at least a decent effort. I kind of have enough technique or strength, whatever it is, that I could ride decently still with like maybe a poor setup. So, I mean, that's kind of a quasi quality, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think overall, yes, we were joking about the results, but overall, I think yes, and I think that's unfortunately that's a bit. Um, I think one point I want to raise to the community is like, look, if people are making the effort of doing these niche categories like the hardtail category, people need to show up, because guess what? If people don't show up, those categories are gonna go away. And we made it our purpose, certainly last year and this year, to show up for the hardtail category. And some races there were 10, 15, 20 guys on the start list. Unfortunately, this time around there were only 5 on the start list and 4 showed up. Last year when I did Lenzerheide, there were 3 guys on the start list and 3 showed up. And yes, it was cool to get second place, and this time it was cool to get first, third, and fourth. But the idea behind these categories is to have a fun competition between those type of riders, and that's also an interesting narrative for the race itself. But yeah, it was cool, and we were joking about it. And I would think I had a look at the results yesterday. I mean, Jan would have placed very well in the overall. I mean, I guess that would be, the front quarter of the overall field, I would think, with your time. Bryson and I, we would be more like towards the halfway point. Myself, maybe the halfway point, and Bryson maybe towards the last quarter. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think the important thing is not the result. I guess for us, it was the showing up and having a great time. And I think with that, we were pretty successful.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Bryson because he was the guy that impressed me the most this weekend. Because after Saturday's 5 minutes into climb 1, I was really worried.
Struggle bus.
Yeah, I was really worried. I was like, oh, that's going to be a long weekend. But then on Sunday, he just rode the suffer bus to the end.
Exactly. He rallied.
Yeah.
He punched the tickets. He was collecting tickets on the struggle bus, but he finished it.
I was really proud.
Very good. Very proud.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. But actually, the one thing that stood out, another thing that stood out to me. So, of course, Jan was there, but I just need to make this direct comparison with Pascal because I ride with him the most out of you two. Doing the race with Pascal and, of course, with Jan actually isn't so much different than just normally going on a ride with Pascal. We're kind of like, I always have this like sense of like pressed for time, or like, hey, we got to make this gondola, or like, let's spot him out here so we can have lunch in time for this. And I mean, no offense, it's great riding with you. I just had that comparison in mind where it's like, hey, you know what? Actually, riding with Pascal is kind of like enduro format. You just have like an enduro specific riding style, I guess.
Maybe that's what it is.
But in practical terms, you're actually very organized, because like sometimes what we do is we utilize uplifts, or we try to catch specific things at specific times, let's say. And yeah, when you have that in your mind and you can still race, but have a mind enough to know, hey, it's going to take us so much time to get here. Let's try to get there now rather than like dilly-dally for a second. Then it really benefits you, because you can actually get a much like more robust full day of riding rather than like, oh, we missed it, so we can only basically do half of what we planned. So kudos to Pascal too.
It reminds me of when we were riding, Bryson, and we were like climbing through ancient ruins for half a day, and then remembering, oh shit, we still have the whole tour in front of us, and it got late, and so we were pretty much not Enduro specific riders, I guess.
Well, I'm always in the moment, maybe.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, last thing I'm going to say on this is what I found interesting is that both of you are like these free spirits when it comes to timing and racing and riding and this and that. But then you would totally stress out over, oh God, damn it, we're going to miss the time cut. Let's hurry up. It's like, guys, if we maybe, get our skates on a little bit, then we wouldn't be so stressed to make time cuts and stuff. So, or we wouldn't be chased by the elites or, miss the time cut for a stage and ask the marshal to actually let us through and whatnot. So, there's two sides to this, but yeah, I think it worked out really well, and overall we had a great time. So that's what counts.
Coach Pascal.
Exactly. I made it my mission to coach Bryson through the day, and I think I was relatively successful.
Well, actually, from my side, I was actually just reciting lines from that old Red Bull Enduro TV series with
Curtis Keene.
Curtis Keene. Like, oh, when's the cutoff? And like, how much time is the transfer? Like those aren't my lines. That's
just regurgitating.
Yeah, just wanted to look pro or sound pro.
Okay. One final thing I want to do is a little exercise with Bryson, contrasting what he set out to do on his bike.
Oh, I wanted to know that.
We talked about it before the race. You talked us through a lot of upgrades to your bike for the race. We pointed out to you that you only had 3 days to do this, and I did 2 check-ins in those 3-day period. How much of what you set out to do did you actually change? And did it work out?
So I deviated a little bit from my original plan, which is fine. Things happen.
Adapt and overcome.
I was at peace with that. Once I finished struggling putting the DH tires on.
Without inserts.
It's fucking impossible. Come on. Okay, so after I finished putting them on, I gave myself a little think, and I was like, you know what? When you go to the bike shop to buy the DH tires, they should offer you a discount on an air compressor, because there's no way you're going to get these seated on your rims unless you have one. You need like a high amount, high PSI, high volume dose to get them to pop, to pop the bead onto the rim. And I tried so many things, but in the end, a CO2 cartridge worked. I just don't know what it does to the sealant. So I managed to put the 36 on the bike, which was super heroic. I mean, in terms of riding. Love that fork.
But not properly set up for the bike.
Yeah, I think I should have maybe did a shakedown ride, but I definitely had too much air in the fork. So I went to like 90-something PSI. And constantly through the day, the fork O-ring did not go to the top. And I even had some like harsh moments where like for sure I thought like the front bottomed, but it didn't, and that's that. So I was too high on. Yeah. So basically it was, let's just say like 120 millimeters worth of travel. But hey, that just means the geometry is kept a little bit more static, right? So
exactly,
it's static. It sits at 63. And yeah, it gets a little bit less slack as you go through. DH tires. I didn't use my front carbon rim that was originally on this bike. I chose to use the alloy rim that I've been using on that fork for a while. I don't know. I just like the feeling of it. It's neither good or bad. It's just what I've been riding, so I'm kind of used to that feeling at the front. Of course, that goes out the window when you put DH tires on, because they're awesome. I'm such a convert. Man, they have so much grip, right?
Welcome to the club.
I know. This is so good.
And they're solid. Like you can just do so much, and they continue to grip, and they don't fold, and so I don't want to put another set of DHRs on another bike because they're so hard to mount. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to kind of think over the idea. What else happened? I didn't do the fork service.
I mean, neither.
But I should have. I mean, I should have done it a year ago, maybe. So that's going to get done because I like the fork on this bike. So
next year?
No, I send it in, and because I'm gonna keep the fork on the bike and ride it. Hope to ride it a lot more during the summer. I just want to be on that bike because I built that bike. I designed that bike and built the bike to be like kind of my one bike. And this is at a time when I was basically only single speeding, hardtail single speeding, and I basically was like like that's what I do. That was like my thing, and like everyone around me knew me as that guy, and it was cool. I really liked it. But coming to Switzerland, I realized, full suspension bike would serve a lot better. It's just like
It's a lie.
Alpine terrain's pretty rough, and I kind of moved away from that. But I always had the bike built, so I used it here and there. And long story short, I'm going to put more time onto it. Probably get a new BB because it creaks a lot. But first, I think I'm going to pop the crankset out, unscrew the BB, just check it, and then like put it all together. Maybe like change the orientation of the spacers or remove a spacer to see what happens. Because it might be this. I didn't check that yet.
Right, you're back into telling us what you're planning to do, but what did you end up doing?
Exactly. What have you actually done?
Nothing yet. No, I just got back.
I mean, even for the race.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so
okay.
we talked about. So let's take stock.
Yeah.
You changed the tires. You gave up on Kushkor.
Yeah.
Because the tires were too hard to put on as it is.
Naturally, yeah.
You did change the fork, which you didn't set up for the bike. Fine, happens. So that's where we're at. So
okay, yeah. So the
you
bar's
talked
grip,
about changing rotors.
Still single speed, still saddle, still a dropper. So yeah, rotors. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? These rotors are fine.
160s. How heavy are you?
No, I have a 200 on the front.
It's just on the back, 160.
Yeah, it's a 160 on the back. Yeah.
And
a single piston.
My 180 was suffering till I lost.
Yeah, for sure. On the first ascent, I could really smell it, but I finished.
Okay. There you go. That's what counts. But overall, you were happy with the changes you made?
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
it was better than the rigged version.
Yeah. Okay. So if I put a 220 on the front and a 200 in the rear, I have a fresh set of those two rotors. If I put those on the bike, that would have made a huge difference for sure. And I think the other thing that would have made a huge difference is if I tested how much pressure in the fork, just so I could just get full travel. Yeah.
Right. We also have to say we did stop your urge to tickle your bike throughout the whole 2 days. We did not allow you to tickle. You only tickled your brake levers a little bit once in hiding while we were taking a break. I could see it. I caught you.
I did
out
tickle
of the corner of my eye.
I did tickle before stage 5 because my bottle cage came loose. So I had to like tighten those bolts. Oh, also on day 1 before stage 3, I noticed my axle was loose. My rear axle.
Okay, that doesn't.
But that never loosened up again. So.
But I remember Sunday morning, just before the race, just before we were heading out to start a race, and you wanted to overdo what was it? Yeah, you wanted to start to do your fork setup, I guess, just basically off the rollout.
Yeah, that's the best time, is it not?
I don't understand. What's wrong with that?
Or was it while we were in queue in stage 1? Something like that, just before we would have ridden single meter. Just change everything.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's good. Interesting.
I'm a novice. I mean, when things come to mind, I just give it a shot. That's how I work.
All right. Is there anything else we wanted to add?
Oh, I also want to thank you guys for being there to help me out and kind of give me guidance and, just generally be there to laugh with. It's I wouldn't have done it alone. Okay, I would have, but it was way nicer to have
Much more fun.
Yeah, to have friends there. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I think we made the most introvert podium ever.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. Yeah. So what do we need to do? What do I need to do with my hands?
It was the worst.
What am I doing with these decider?
It was the worst part of the weekend, I guess.
Exactly. All right. Well, I guess final thing we wanted to say is also thank you for all the hollers and the encouragement along the way from the fans, the Skigglers, also former guests on the podcast that were at the race. Of course, Isaline finishing second in the elite women. We also ran into Vitor. We saw Domi from afar, and of course Gianluca from Swiss Enduro Series. You can find all these episodes in the show notes. And with that, I think we close it out for the night. That was it for the debrief from the Swiss Enduro Series Leukerbad. Thanks for listening. We really hope you enjoyed this episode.
Pascal and I put a lot of heart and soul into this podcast, and it means a lot to us that you've listened to it. We'd also really appreciate if you shared it with the people that you know and care about. Until next time, Skigglers.